because worrying can be productive if it signals and triggers you to take action to fix a particular problem. Worrying is destructive if it makes you feel bad about yourself, if it makes you do things that are contrary to your goals, if it makes you stressed out. And I bet that you have the destructive kind of worrying. So now let's go a little bit deeper. What do you do if you've got a habit of having a destructive pattern of worrying about money, of thinking you're unworthy, of telling yourself you're not successful, of telling yourself you're not going to make it, of buying things that you can't afford, but you buy it as a way to validate yourself because you feel bad about yourself? What I want you to do today or tomorrow, whenever you have time, is I want you to wake up after you do your morning routine, and I want you to go through your day and notice all day long what triggers you to worry or make yourself wrong or think about in a negative way money. What is it? Is it the price of coffee and telling yourself you shouldn't do it? Is it looking at your paycheck? Is it checking your bank balance? Is it looking at things catching yourself looking at things you can't afford? What is it that triggers you? Is it seeing other people in expensive clothing and making yourself wrong? What about money triggers you? And then you're going to ask yourself the question that I already taught you to ask in videos 13 and 14. And that question is, don't say what's wrong with me about money. Why can't I make money? Don't ask yourself those questions, which are basically like punching yourself in the face. Ask yourself this question. What happened to me to make me believe that I'm not worth making money? What happened to me that made me believe that I'm not smart enough to be successful? What happened to me that makes me believe that I need to buy something in order to feel good about myself? Because there is a connection between something that happened to you and the association that it triggered with money. And we got to get to that pattern because that's the pattern that we need to fix. And when you start to work on the pattern, so being deliberate about not buying stuff that you don't need and coming up with something else that you're going to do instead to make yourself feel good. Being deliberate about making a plan to go ask for that raise, or making a plan every day to work on your multi-level marketing business or your side hustle project, so that every day, instead of having yourself be triggered by money and the lack of money and the fact that you haven't made a sale yet, that you're actually in action, making things happen so that you do make the money. This is how you change the patterns around money that are triggered by your negative belief system and triggered by your self-doubt. Now I'm going to take some questions. I have a feeling Chris is going to bust in here any second because I've got to drive our children to theater like right now. But we're going to take some questions until that happens. I have a huge amount of student debt. I get so guilty every time I do anything fun or spend money on vacations, even though I'm making good progress paying down my debt. How do I get over the anxiety of living my life with debt? This is an enormous issue. Millennials, who are the generation that now is kind of in their kind of mid to late 30s, have the largest student debt load of any generation in the history of humanity. And it is a very real and stressful thing. But here's the thing. If you are making progress on paying down your debt, and if you consistently pay down your debt, you have nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. And what you need to fix is the pattern of making yourself wrong for taking care of yourself. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if you had parents that were very frugal. I don't know if you had parents that always said, we don't have money to go on vacation. I don't know if you had parents that told you that you should never have debt. I don't know what happened. Again, that's the question. But somewhere along the line, you associated spending money with yourself as either irresponsible or not a good idea. Or you associated spending money on vacations or spending money when you're still paying down debt as not a good idea. Or maybe what happened is you have the opinion that you're not good enough or worthy of doing nice things for yourself.